wherever you are on life's journey,
Yep.
you are
Okay,
welcome
yeah.
here.
He has audio.
My
Yeah,
name is Dan Taylor, and I serve as treasurer on, not exactly on the board of managers. I
What
don't
did you
get to
want me to
vote
do?
or anything, but I go to meetings and stuff. And hopefully I keep an eye on how money is flowing this way and that. My pronouns are he pronouns, and I am at the moment wearing a African shirt from where I was in Cameroon in the Peace Corps. I'm about 5'7" and 60 some years old. Here are this week's announcements. We try to make our service as accessible as possible with hearing helpers and large print versions of service materials available for from our ushers. Our weekly newsletter is emailed on Wednesdays. Paper copies can be found at the entrances to our building. This week's church activities include a Christmas Eve service at 7 p.m. on Christmas Eve. This is preceded by a meal we offer in Whitcomb Hall to friends and neighbors who are experiencing homelessness at 5 p.m. If you would like to help with serving, cleanup, would love to provide some food, or just want to come and hang out to provide people with companionship, please see Elise Gittleman or the sign up in our newsletter. Chaplains on the Way need you, or actually one of you. Leslie Gillesleeve is stepping down as Jones Partnership sponsor of the chaplains after about 10 years of being their official connection to First Parish. In order to apply for a grant for 2025, a new sponsor is needed before February 1st deadline, really even before that, so that they know they have somebody. Leslie would be happy to talk to you about the responsibilities and rewards of the position. Leslie is right over there waving to everybody. So if you this is not a real, heavy lifting position, but it's required in order to get the grant. Next Sunday's service will be available only online. Details of the Zoom link are in today's order of service. Please consider taking a photo of it in your phone or taking the order of service home with you, as there will not be a newsletter published this week. Everything's a little different because of the holiday. Staff will spend a little less time working in the building during the next 10 days to spend time with their families. Yes, our staff have lives too. All are available by email, and the office answer phone will be monitored. I guess the answering service will be monitored. Contact details are on the website, in the newsletter, and in the order of service. I should also point out here that there is the holiday marketplace one more time after the service today. Please come and buy chocolates and other things like that. It's a good fundraiser for the church. This is the end of today's announcements. We're so glad you're here. Please check that you have silenced your phone and other communication devices. And now, please turn around and wave to the lovely people who are on Zoom.
Good morning, everybody.
Justine.
Those of you who don't know me or are with us for the first or second time, my name is April Rosario, and my pronouns are she, her. I am a 38-year-old Black woman with medium-length dreadlocks, and today I'm wearing one of my favorite outfits, an incredibly red sweatshirt that says Merry Christmas, and some of my favorite pants. They have Santas and gingerbread houses, clue for later, and Christmas lights, and of course, black boots. I am the Director of Faith Formation here at First Parish Church in Waltham, and I am so glad to be with you this morning. I'm glad to be with you for a couple reasons, but mostly because Sunday is a special time. Sunday morning is one of my favorite times because it's a time where we get to gather in community, a time where we get to live out our dreams, help each other, and be something greater and be part of something greater than ourselves. Because together we can find meaning, strength, and love to help guide us in all that we do. Now, I have one extra announcement for all of you today. Today, service is a little bit different. It is an all ages service. So normally on a Sunday morning, after our second song, our kids and our youth head downstairs, but everyone is going to stay in the sanctuary together. For those that are visiting, please know that we love movement and noise and giggles. So whether you are 2 or 102, if you need to get up and move, please do so. We have soul work stuff, which is basically just toys and coloring in the back. We have yoga mats at the back in this area if you want to stretch and move. And if you feel like dancing up and down the aisles, by all means, dance up and down the aisles. Please know that that is welcomed in every way possible. The other announcement I have is that we're going to be doing a lot of singing today because today is our sing-along puppet show Christmas pageant. So your orders of service are going to look a little bit different. Instead of using our hymnal today, our song sheets are at the back of your orders of service. So if you'd like to sing along, you are more than welcome. In just a second, we're going to light our chalice. Because here at First Parish in Waltham and across the country in Unitarian Universalist churches on Sunday mornings, we start by lighting a chalice, which is the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. To help me light this morning's chalice, I would like to invite up any kids or youth and faith formation volunteers. And friends are welcome to come on up too. Come on up, friends. Hi. It's so nice to meet you. Come on up, Florence. Now, our kids and our youth have a special chalice lighting that they do every Sunday morning after they go downstairs. And so we would like to teach it to you. We're going to teach it call and response. So we'll say a line and then you all can say a line. Liam is holding a sign for folks that do better with visual learning. And then folks that do better with audio learning will say a line, you say a line. There are also some hand movements that go with us. Raya and Mira, and anyone else that wants to, is going to help teach those. You are welcome to try those out as well. Are we ready, friends? Fantastic. Here we go. Our first line. We are the Unitarian Universalists. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the flaming chalice that lights our search for truth. This is the church of the loving heart that helps us share in good times and bad, and joys and sorrows together. Fantastic. Raya, do you want to light it? Thank you so much, friends. Do you want to have a seat? Thank you for helping us light our chalice this morning. And now I would like to invite up, no, I'm not going to invite up anyone yet. We're going to do something else. So in just a second, I will ask you to rise in spirit as you are willing and able and join us in our first song. But before I do, I want to share something with you. How many of you here have ever heard the song Jingle Bells? Anyone ever heard it? Oh, good. Not a brand new one. I wonder if anyone here has ever heard or knows who it was written by. It was, in fact, written by a Unitarian. Now, fun fact, a lot of times, especially in today's world, we hear Unitarian Universalist. We hear those two words put together, but they didn't always start out together. They started out as two separate denominations, the Unitarians and the Universalists. So sometimes you only hear one of those words. Jingle Bells was in fact composed by a Unitarian named James Pierpont. Now, when James was a child, he spent a ton of time in church because his father was a minister. This didn't bother him at all because church had something special. Well, it had a lot of things special, but the special thing for James was the piano. James loved to play music. Now, his father did not think that this was a worthwhile passion, but there were some community members and some neighbors that thought it was. And so with the help of some friends, James learned to play the piano. And in 1850, right here in Massachusetts, he composed Jingle Bells as a way of celebrating the town of Medford's annual sleigh races. So with that in mind, please rise in body or spirit as you are willing and able, and join us in our first song, Jingle Bells. Please stay standing and join with me in our unison affirmation, which can be found in your order of service and begins with the word love. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Please be seated.
Good morning, friends.
morning.
I'm Reverend Elizabeth Carrier-Ladd. I'm the minister here at First Parish in Waltham. Lots of you call me Elka or Reverend Elka. Both are good. I am, or mom also is allowed for certain people. I am freshly shorn with short hair and blue eyes and alabaster white skin, and I'm wearing a green blazer with a very reddish, colorful pocket square, jeans, and Doc Martens. And I'm here to light our Advent wreath this morning. In our Christian liturgical calendar, today marks the fourth Sunday and the final Sunday in the season of Advent. It's a season of waiting expectantly for an upending of the power structures of the world. This week, in addition to candles for hope and peace and love, we'll light up hope and peace and joy. I was jumping ahead to love. We'll light a candle for love, for the fullness in the heart that we can feel with our whole selves. Can you recall what that feels like? For feeling held, for feeling seen and known and beautiful and precious to someone, for a deep sense of our own worth and dignity, for being surrounded by kindreds in community here or anywhere, for the most powerful and gentle force, for that which knits the universe together. Today, we light a candle of love in the spirit of expectation for a world completely and radically transformed by a child born in a stable. A child who preached that the last shall be first. that love is the only commandment, and that everything we do should flow from that hope, from that love, who preached that empires must fall and all shall be held in the circle of care, no matter what, that we, each of us, can be and already are the light of the world.
Thank you. I have another question for all of you. My question is this: did you know that before the early 1800s, there was no such thing as Christmas trees here in America? Not a single one. Now, the origin of Christmas trees is a wonderful story, but a story for a different day. Today, I want to tell you the story of how Christmas trees came to be in America. And as I do, I have a special gift for you. So as I'm telling my story, if one person from each family could raise their hands, and if your family is sitting spread out from each other, turn around, find them, make eye contact, tap them on the shoulder, figure out who's gonna raise their hand. One person from each family can raise their hand, and Pam is going to walk around with a gift for you that will make sense as my story goes on. So, let's get into it. This story, not one that I invented, but one that I can't wait to share with you, starts like so many of my favorite stories do. It starts with once upon a time. And there are many of you, many families, but I only see like 2 hands. So raise your hand, one person from each family. You two live in the same house, my house, one of you. Perfect, thank you, thank you. So this story starts like so many of them do with once upon a time. Once upon a time, there was a man named Dr. Charles Follen. Now, as a child, before he was Dr. Charles Follen and went by Charlie, he lived in Germany. And in Germany, it was custom around Christmas to set up and decorate a Christmas tree. Charlie, who grew up to be Charles, and then Dr. Charles Follen, eventually moved to America, where he was a professor at Harvard University. One particular Christmas, Dr. Charles Follen was feeling very sentimental. Sentimental means he was feeling all the feelings about his past, and he was remembering all of his amazing memories from Christmas. You see, he had recently been married and had a 2-year-old son named Charlie. He wanted to bring some of the magic of Christmas that he remembered as a child into his house. As he was remembering, he realized that all of his memories centered around his family gathering around the Christmas tree. So he did the only thing he could think of. He put on his boots, he put on his coat and his hat, he slid on his mittens, he grabbed an axe and slung it over his shoulder, and he went for a walk. He went to the nearest wood he could find and found the prettiest spruce tree there. He chopped it down, chop, chop, chop. Hold on. Tied a rope around it and dragged it all the way back to his house. Hold on. Hold on. A friend in the front row has a question, which is why I'm saying hold on. He dragged it all the way back to his house. He checked inside to make sure his wife and his son Charlie were asleep. And wouldn't you know, they were. So he went to work lickety-split. He dragged the tree into his study and then went out to the barn and gathered a large wooden bin. In the bin, he filled soil and damp moss. He picked up the tree and stuck it inside. He went back to check on his wife and his 2-year-old son, Charlie. Luckily, they were still sleeping. So he quickly got to work. And over the next few evenings, while his wife and his son were sleeping, he made tiny toys, beautiful paper ornaments, and multiple gilded egg cups with candy in them. On Christmas Eve, he fastened candles to each of the branch tips and lit them. Not a thing I encourage anyone to do because Christmas trees are incredibly flammable. But again, we're like in the 1800s, so we're gonna just back up a little bit. He fastened candles to each of the Christmas branch tips, lit them, and then called his family in. Yes, Liam. Oh, he used an axe, but yes, it is incredibly dangerous. And one of the things that we talk a lot about here with our kids and youth is how do we do dangerous things? Safely. So Liam is wondering how he did that dangerous thing safely. Hold on one second, Liam. Hold on, I will answer that question in a minute. His wife and his child came in and immediately were stunned by the beauty of the tree. They had never seen anything like it. His 2-year-old clapped with joy, and his wife was amazed. "What do you call this?" she said. "I call it a Christmas tree," he said. They went to church, and his family could not stop talking about the beauty of the Christmas tree. So they invited the neighborhood back to see it. What they didn't know at the time is one of the house guests that came to see the Christmas tree was an author and happened to write for a paper. That guest put an article in the paper a few days later about this wonderful, spectacular tree they had seen. That paper was delivered to the community. And the next year, Christmas trees started popping up in the homes of that neighborhood. And a year later, some more Christmas trees. And a year later, some more Christmas trees. And that, friends, is how Christmas trees came to America. Now, another reason I decided to tell this was Dr. Charles Follen also happened to be a Unitarian. So 2 bits of history for you this morning. At the end of my stories, I normally have a challenge for you. Instead today, I have an invitation. Those of you that raised your hands were each handed an ornament. I would like to invite, if you are willing, those of you that have a tree in your homes this time of year to hang the ornament that has a chalice on it, a symbol of our faith, and bring a little bit of our faith tradition into your home. If you are a family who does not have a Christmas tree in their home, which so many of our friends do, that's okay. This ornament was designed with that in mind. If you hang it in your window, it will cast red rainbows around your room. So you can use it that way as a decoration too. And if you're like the kids in my house, it might go from your tree to a window, back to a tree, to a bedpost, and travel all over. But that is your invitation if you would like to accept it. And now I'd like to invite you to rise in body or spirit as you're willing and able for our next song, "O Christmas Tree." friends, please be seated. Now, as I said, we're doing things a little bit different today. Normally, this is the time in our service where our kids and our youth head downstairs. But as I said, we're all staying upstairs today. Those that are normally in the sanctuary after they leave, this is a time where we do candles of joys and sorrows. But because this is an all-ages service, and in a way to make this accessible for all, and bring a little bit of the downstairs upstairs, we are going to do stones of emotion. There's also candles if you would like to light a candle as well. In just a second, I'll invite those that would like to stand up and make a line starting over here. Thank you, Bea. I invite you now to settle into your seats, into your bodies, for a moment of prayer, of meditation, of reflection, whatever is your practice. I invite you to take a deep breath. Dear Spirit of love and peace, we thank you for the gift of this day, for the warmth of family and friends, for the beauty of the world we share. May we carry love in our hearts, kindness in our actions, and peace in our thoughts, not just at Christmas, but all year long. And may we be the light for each other, just as the stars guide us in the dark. May it be so, blessed be, and amen. I'd now like to invite up Deb Jose, our board president, for this morning's invitation to generosity.
What happens to me is about me. And you're stressed, so you sit right here. She's stressed because I'm not.
Good morning. I'm Deb Jose, pronouns she, her. I'm a 69-year-old white woman wearing a red sweater and a green vest. This morning, in the spirit of hope, peace, joy, and love, I invite contributions to our minister's discretionary fund. This money will go to both members of our congregation and others to help in tough times when we as a community can share what we have with those who are less fortunate. So please give what you can. If you are new or newish among us, you can let the offering plate pass you by. You are our guests. Thank you for your generosity.
Who's ready for a puppet show? Yeah. So as you came in today, you might have been invited to or directed to take a puppet from the back table. If anybody doesn't have a puppet, now is a great time to hop up or find a friend near you that can hop up and grab a puppet. Does anybody need a puppet? Or would anyone like a puppet for each hand? If you are someone who wants to work double time, you are welcome to grab a puppet for each hand. And as you do, I will explain how our sing-along puppet show pageant is going to work today. In just a second, we together are going to tell the story of the Grinch. I will tell the words to the story, and you all will help bring the story to life. So here's how it will work. Take a peek at your puppet, find out what you have. We probably have who's and Grinches and hearts and trees and presents and stockings and maxes and wreaths, all kinds of things. When you hear the word, or a word that you think fits with your puppet, right? There's no right or wrong way to do this. A word in the story that fits with your puppet, you've got some options. You can easily just raise your puppet and kind of do a little turn so that folks around you can see, remembering that our Zoom camera is behind us so we can turn for folks to see. If you're feeling really adventurous, you can stand up and show off your puppet. If you'd like to come out into the aisle and show off your puppet, you're welcome to do that too. If you're someone who likes to add a little bit of extra vocals, and does anyone have a Merry Christmas puppet? As you hold up your Merry Christmas puppet, I will warn you now, that is the one that gets used the most. You are welcome to say, whether you have a Merry Christmas puppet or not, Merry Christmas, each and every time I say Merry Christmas. So really and truly, this is an interactive puppet show. Now, what's a story without some songs? So woven into our story, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, is some music. Every now and then we'll have some song leaders, and I will prompt you of when the song is about to come. And you are welcome, you don't need to stand for this one, you can stay sitting, but you're welcome to jump in with all of the songs, and those are in your order of service. How do we feel? Everybody ready? Yeah? Fantastic. This is How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss, brought to life by First Parish in Waltham. Every who. Perfect. All those who's went up. Make sure, give it a little twirl so people can see. There we go. Every who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot. But the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, did not. And let's find out why.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel. You're as cuddly as a cactus and as funny as an eel, Mr. Grinch. You're a bad banana with a greasy neck peel. Ew.
You're a monster, Mr. Grinch. Your heart's an empty hole. Your brain's full of spiders. You've got garlic in your soul, Mr. Grinch. I wouldn't touch you with a 39.5-foot pole.
Now, the Grinch hated Christmas. The the whole Christmas season. Now, please don't ask why, because no one knows quite the reason. It could have been that his head wasn't screwed on just right, or perhaps his shoes were just too tight. But I think the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve hating the Who's. I love it. Staring down from his cave with a sour, Grinchy frown at the warm lighted windows below in their town. For he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath. Got any wreaths? Did anyone pick up a wreath? We've got some wreaths. And they're hanging their stockings, he said with a sneer. Tomorrow is Christmas. It's practically here. I wonder what happens at Christmas when we're hanging our stockings. It's almost like we're decking our halls. Please feel free to join in.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la, la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la, la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, fa la 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 la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol, fa la 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 la. See the blazing Yule before us, fa la 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 la, la 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 la. Strike the harp and join the chorus, fa la 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 la, la 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 la. Follow me in merry match, fa la 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 la. While I tell of Yuletide treasure, fa la 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 la, la 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 la. Fast away the old year passes, fa la 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 la, la 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 la. Hail the new year, lads and lasses, fa la 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 la, la 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 la. Sing we joyous all together, fa la 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 la. Heedless of the wind and weather, fa la 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 la.
Then he growled, with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming. I must find a way to stop Christmas from coming. Now, before he knew, all the Who, girls and boys and people, would wake bright and early. They'd rush to their toys. And then, oh, the noise. Oh, the noise. Oh, the noise. And then the Who's, young and old, would sit down to feast. Oh, and they'd feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast. They would feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beast, which is something the Grinch couldn't stand just in the least. And then they'd do something he liked least of all. Every Who Down in Whoville, the tall and the small, they'd stand close together with Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand, and the Who's would start singing. Thank you, Elias. They'd sing and they'd sing and they'd sing, sing, sing. I wonder if the Who's knew how to Jingle Bell Rock.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells swing and jingle bells ring. Snowing and blowing and bushels of fun. Now the jingle hop has begun. Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells chime in jingle bell time. Dancing and prancing in Jingle Bell Square. In the frosty air, what a bright time is the right time to rock the night away. Jingle bell time, it's a swell time to go gliding in a one-horse sleigh. Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet, jingle around the clock. Mix and a mingle and a jingle bell beat. That's the jingle bell, that's the jingle bell, that's the jingle bell rock.
And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought, I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years, I've put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how? Then he got an idea, an awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. I know just what I'll do. The Grinch laughed in his throat. I'll make a quick Santa Claus hat and a coat. And he chuckled. And chuckled. What a Grinchy trick. With this coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. I wonder, look just like Saint Nick. I guess that means Santa Claus is coming to town.
You better watch out, you better not cry, you better watch out, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town, Santa Claus is coming to town, Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list, he's checking it twice, he's gonna find out who's naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming to town, Santa Claus is coming to town, Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake, he knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better
need is a reindeer. The Grinch looked around. But since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch? No. The Grinch simply said, if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. So he called to his dog Max. Just like that. How did he call? And then he took out some red thread and he tied a big horn on the top of his head. A horn, a sled. I wonder if he was trying to make a Rudolph.
Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen, but do you recall the most famous reindeer of all? Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw him, you would even say it glows. All of the other call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then how the reindeer loved him as they shouted out with glee, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, he'll go down in history. He'll go down in history.
Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks. On a ramshackled sleigh, he hitched up old Max. Then the Grinch said, giddy up! And the sleigh started down toward the homes where the Who's lay a snooze in their towns. All the windows were dark. Quiet snow filled the air. All the Who's were all dreaming sweet dreams without a care. When he came to the first little house on the square. This is stop number 1, the old Grinchy Claus hissed. I love the hisses. And he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist. Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pitch. But if Santa, did anyone pick up a Santa? We're gonna get a Santa. But if Santa could do it, then so could the Grinch. Elias, you're killing it today. He got stuck just once. For a moment or two, then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue. There were little stockings. Anyone pick up a stocking? There were little Who stockings hung all in a row. Those stockings, he grinned, are the first ones to go. Then he slithered and he slunk with a smile most unpleasant. Anyone want to share an unpleasant, Grinchy smile? Share one with your neighbor. Share a Grinchy smile. With a smile most unpleasant around the whole room. And he took every present. He took every present. Pop guns and bicycles, roller skates and drums, checkerboards, tricycle, popcorns and plums. He stuffed them in a bag. Then the Grinch very nimbly stuffed all the bags, one by one by one, up the chimney. Then he slunk. I can't be the only one slinking around here. Someone else slink with me. Then he slunk to the icebox. He took the Who's feast. He took the Who pudding. He took the roast. I love that you're helping me tell this story. He cleaned out the icebox as quick as a flash. He even took the last can of Who hash. And then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee. And now the Grinch grinned. It was time to stuff up the tree. And the Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shove. When he heard a small sound of a coo like a dove, he turned around fast. Everyone turn around. And he saw a small Who. Little Cindy Lou Who was no more than the Grinch had been caught by the tiny Who daughter who'd gotten out of bed for a cold drink of water. She stared at the Grinch and said, Santa Claus, we have one now, Santa Claus. Why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why? But you know, that old Grinch was so smart and so slick. He thought up a lie, and he thought it up quick. Why, my sweet little tot, the fake Santa Claus. What? Oh, I was like, what are you talking about? You're jumping ahead, friends, you're jumping ahead. Why, my sweet little tot, the fake Santa Claus lied. There's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, and I'll bring it back here. And his fib fooled the child. and then he patted her head. He got her a drink and sent her off to bed. And when Cindy Lou, who went to bed with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up. Then the last thing he took was the log from the fire. Then he went up the chimney himself, that old liar.
The only food he left was...
Hold on, we're getting ahead of ourselves. I love that you know this story so well, but there just might be someone who has never heard it yet.
I forced everybody to watch.
It's such a good story.
Yes.
My friends, does anyone else have a movie, maybe The Grinch, maybe a different movie, a movie or a book or a song you listen to or read or watch over and over and over? Yeah, see, friends? We all do that. On their walls, he left nothing but hooks and some wire. And the one speck of food he left in the house was a crumb too small for even a mouse. Did anyone pick up the mouse puppet? A mouse! Then he did the same thing to the other houses, leaving crumbs much too small for the other mouses. It was 1:15 dawn, and all the who's still abed. All the who's still a snoozing when he packed up his sled. He packed up all their presents, and there's our sled. He packed up all their presents, the ribbings, the wrappings, the tags and the tinsel, the trimmings and the trappings. 3,000 feet up.
To the top of Mount Crumpet.
Crumpet. Yep, up the side of Mount Crumpet. He rode with his load to the tip top to dump it. Pooh-pooh to those whose he was grinchily humming. They're finding out that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open a minute or two. Then those who's down in Whoville will all cry, boo-hoo. That's a noise. Grinned the Grinch. That I simply must hear. So he paused. And the Grinch, help me out, friends, put a hand to his ear. And he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, and then it started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, this sounded merry. It couldn't be so. But it was merry, very. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Every who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents? Where are our presents? Without any presents at all. Our next sing-along song comes from the Grinch movie. So if you know it, I invite you to join in. Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or other, it came just the same. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling. How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, and bags. He puzzled 3 hours. 3. Until his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas perhaps means a little bit more. And what happened then? Well, in Whoville they say, the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And that minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight. He whizzed with his load through the bright morning light. He brought back the toys and the food for the feast. And he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast feast. The end. Friends, it is possible that some of you thought or had friends or family say, "The Grinch at church? How does that go together?" Well, I'm here to say the story of the Grinch is a powerful reminder that kindness and love have the power to transform even the hardest, greenest, furriest of hearts. You see, the Grinch didn't hate Christmas itself. He hated what it represented. It represented the emptiness, and he hated that it represented the emptiness and the hypocrisy that he felt. He resented that it reminded him that he was alone and excluded. In this way, the Grinch is truly one of my favorite Christmas stories, and I think a perfect story for church, a perfect story for Unitarian Universalism that centers love. because it reminds us that small acts of kindness can make a huge difference, and that leading with love and empathy, and that when we lead with love and empathy, we can brighten someone's world, not just at Christmas, but every day. May it be so. Now, thank you. Now, in just a moment, we're going to finish our service. But as I said at the very beginning, we're doing things a little bit differently today. Normally, we sing our last hymn, extinguish the chalice, there's a postlude, and then we leave. We're going to flip that around a little bit today. So, I'm going to extinguish the chalice, and then we're going to have the postlude. The postlude is going to act as transition music. While we're listening to the postlude, I invite all those that are able to stand up. Hold on, not yet, friends. To stand up and not leave the sanctuary, but make a circle around the outside of the pews. If that type of mobility is a struggle for you, I invite you to just slide to the end of a pew and we will make the circle to fit you. Once you're in your spot in the circle, I invite you to find a buddy across the circle because we will be singing our final song to that buddy. Does that make sense? Okay. Our chalice extinguishing words are these. To love without exception is at the heart of this faith. And each Sunday we leave this space and this time with a sense of that love and the strength and the hope for the week to come. May we extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as our Father. Brothers all are we. Let me walk with my brother in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
I'm okay. Okay. Here I am.
We made a circle.
We made a circle. This is the best circle I've ever seen. All right, friends, what I'd like you to do is find a buddy across the circle and sing to them. And our final song is We Wish You a Merry Christmas. Someone with singing ability has to start it. That's not me. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. gingerbread making courtesy of Pam. Thank you, Pam. Merry Christmas, everybody.